Two things I can't live without, the house without. I think my work colleagues know I always walk around with a watch.
Okay.
I would literally step 3 steps and I'd feel I'm naked if I don't have a watch with me.
You're listening to Blue Radio, bringing the vibe.
Last 18 years in Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda, and beyond, and I just have passion for investments and getting young people to get on the investments ladder. So that's pretty much about myself. Family man, father of 2, married.
And you can specify above. Lazima specify. All right. So you talked about you being, in the real estate business, and how long have you been working in this industry?
So I have been in the real estate space for the last 8 years.
8 years.
10 years in corporate, but specifically in real estate 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
All right, Mukami.
Talking about real estate, can you briefly explain to that listener out there? So probably this is the first time when I hear the term real estate. Can you briefly tell them what it is all about?
So real estate is really vast. So it can be segmented in various ways, but I'll just try and be as simple as I can, so that our listeners also can be able to pick a thing or two. So real estate can be in commercial real estate. So commercial real estate, you're talking about warehousing, you're talking about office space, you're talking about mixed-use developments like malls. It can be massive housing like apartments. Then we have residential real estate. Residential predominantly focuses on places where people want to live. So it can be rented accommodation, or it can be accommodation for sale. Also can touch on apartments, but it can also touch on condos, single dwelling units, and that's also where mainly the government is focusing on. Real estate also covers logistics, so warehousing, cold storage facilities, and all that. And then you have companies like Fusion that mix the two, where you do mixed use developments, where you touch on commercial and a bit of residential as well. And a big thing that has been happening in our country generally has also been land, which is a very critical aspect of real estate as well. And also I know it's happening a lot in Mombasa and coastal region, where now people are looking into owning land to build their own homes. So that's also a big space to be in real estate.
So you've mentioned a couple of different types of real estate. So among those different types that you've mentioned, among them, which one is the best type of real estate there?
I would say there's a piece of the pie for everyone, depending on how deep your pockets are. So I would say, sorry about that. I'd say at entry level, you'll be looking at land is usually the easiest place to get into. Cost of entry is really low. You can start with a small piece of land, an 8-acre of land, and the returns on land are tremendous. You look at land in 3 years' time, you'd be talking double digits, 2 times the money. So for instance, you would buy a piece of land in Diani for 800,000, or in the outskirts of Nairobi for 800,000, and in 3 years' time, you'll be selling the same piece at $1 million plus, 2 million plus. So 2 times the money. So land is usually the easiest point of entry. But if you have cash flow, then you can talk about mixing your portfolio, buying a bit of apartments, of course buying a bit of office space. There's a lot of opportunity also in warehousing. So depending on your cash flow and how much you're able to invest in, there's always an opportunity for everyone. But for the young people who are looking into jumping into the real estate ladder, I usually tell them land is the best place to start with.
Land is the best place to start. Land is usually the best place to start with.
I'm just here listening. And did you hear the figures that he mentioned? And I'm like, okay, ni ya Wanjiku, ama is it common Wanjiku? Who is your target audience? Who is the target? target?
I would say Mama Wanjikos, Mama Mbogas, they can always tap into. So I mentioned a figure of 800,000, but there are places you can get land as cheap as 200,000, as cheap as 150,000. I know if you're looking at the coastal landscape areas in Mariakani, Samburu, some parts of Malindi, past Malindi, some areas you can get land as cheap as 50,000, 100,000. What you just need to know is there are places where you'll get very cheap land, but it might take a longer period for you to achieve good returns on investment. So you need to like balance it out and try and see what are the county plans in this area. Is the county doing a new road? Is the county doing something new in this area? What are the national development plans in this area? You would find there are some areas where, like the Lapset corridor, it's a major highway that would traverse several counties in the country. The major infrastructure projects, you know, like the SGR, many people made a lot of money because just being strategic next to the SGR. So yeah, there's pockets of spaces where Mama Boga can fit in. You start with 50,000, you start with 100,000, but areas where you start with maybe $1 million, the time it takes for you to recoup your money and get real gains is faster than if you would start with 50,000 or so.
So you definitely advise someone to go for the higher stakes.
If the pockets, again, I say it's how deep your pockets are.
Well, all right. So there are some challenges when it comes to this, real estate business. And what are some of the challenges that you faced during your years?
Oh yeah, in this life there's nothing that doesn't come with challenges. I would like to get clarity on your question. Do you look at challenges in terms of the process of ownership, process of getting land, or are you asking on challenges in terms of as a company or as a person who's in that business?
As an entrepreneur.
Oh, as an entrepreneur. So as an entrepreneur. But I would also like to address the other question because it's a common challenge that many people are trying to address. So as an entrepreneur, I think the biggest challenge is one, getting an investor or getting the funds to start up. Because real estate is not for everyone. As much as you would find everyone doing it, not everyone is doing it right. So if you have a backing of a proper investor who can put in the money, then you can jump into it. For instance, there are people who just do joint ventures, I like you have a large piece of land, you cannot sell, I can sell, we get into agreement, I sell on behalf. And then what I'm not realizing is maybe you have a loan that you need to offset. And then at that point where I have sold to person A and B, and they need their titles, they cannot get their titles because the person that we got into partnerships with does not own that land because maybe it's charged by a bank or so. So to avoid that, you need to have cash flow so that instead of doing jointly, you just buy it off and start subdivision, master planning, and selling it. So again, one is you need to have cash flow to get into it as an entrepreneur. Two, you need to be properly educated about what goes on in land. As much as you might buy it off, it might be land that was reserved for government, but then it was handed over to the wrong person, and then you are getting it wrongly. So you have to do proper due diligence. So sometimes you buy land that is supposed to be government, you buy land that is not supposed to be developable. So you buy riparian land that is supposed to be a swamp, or there's a river cutting across. So those are some of the challenges that you experience. So you need cash flow, one, and you need experience. You need to have the knowledge about that industry. It's not just an industry that you jump into and you expect to succeed.
All right.
Before you answer that question, you said that so many people are getting into it, but not everybody is doing it right. So what do you mean by that term?
Doing it right is one way and the best way of doing it. So many people are getting into it because land is there. It's becoming scarce by the day. Towns are growing, Mombasa is growing, Nairobi is growing, so it's becoming scarce by the day. So doing it right means following process. Yeah. So before I sell you the land, I need to make sure that I own it.
Yeah.
So for you need to ask me, do you have title for the land? Proper ownership of the land. Yeah. There are ownership documents that do not suffice as proper. Yeah. So I can have an allotment letter. An allotment letter can change anytime. Yeah. But if I have the proper title deed for a land, then I have the legal mandate to sell it to you. Yeah. So that's one of the challenges. Yeah. You need to have proper title for the land. The land needs to be clear of any encumbrances. It needs not to be charged by a SACCO. That hasn't to be charged by a bank before I sell it, because I can sell it to you, but I had taken loan on that land, on that title. So then the bank comes after it because they have interests on it. So those are some of the challenges that you really need to be worried about before getting into such kind of transactions.
All right. So what would you say in the real estate industry? We're gonna so many scamming.
Yes.
So many scamming that led to the formation of what was that just called? The formation of the real estate companies came up with a joint
the association or the estate agents registration board.
I think that's it.
Yes.
Now ile pushing ilifanya these people to come up with this association, was it the scamming that was there, massive scamming?
So I know from your research you're making reference to two different entities. I will avoid to talk about the association because it's like the three of us decide, let's go and form an association.
Okay.
But I will talk about the government body. So the government body is called the Estate Agents Registration Board. It's the board that is regulated to register people who are practicing real estate. So let me avoid the association because I know the members of that association. I wouldn't want to talk so much about it. I'm not a member of it, so I won't talk much about it. But what I would say, before dealing with any realtor, really just ask them, are you registered with the Estate Agents Registration Board, which is the government body mandated to register? Number two, what I said earlier, are you selling land that you own? Number three, if the answer is yes, then that piece of land, can I get a copy of the title? Can I go and do my own independent due diligence on that? Double venture.
Estimation
very profitable.
Very profitable.
Estimation kidogo here and there.
Again, depends with the different assets that you invest into, but definitely they'll be above. You'll be talking about double digit return on investment. Not single digit.
Okay. Wangai unasikia?
Not single digit.
Unasikia? But there's the part about family where it's about family will always be family. Wangai, people are struggling to create time for their families. Now Koku, you do not want to spend time na mtu wako. What is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you? Haya basi mkatae ku spend time na mtu wenu, watu wanazima simu. Are you going to switch off your phone for your family?
Me.
You hesitated. Anyway, so we jump into the quick five real quick. And I'll let you start because of the feminism talks.
No. Yo, okay.
They say ladies first.
Ladies first. Now, okay. That's what you used to
like it's a trap. I know it's a trap, but then you to listen the future is female. I will take it.
Is female.
The future is female. Okay. Between being a president and a billionaire for one day, which one are you picking?
Oh, this is a trick question.
The future is female.
Between being a president and being a billionaire, I would say president it is, but with a disclaimer, for the right reasons, doing it for the people, not for selfish gain.
Okay.
So being a president, definitely.
Hautatenga?
Sitatenga.
Oh my goodness. All right, so question 2. If you were to be an animal, what animal would you be? And why?
Without thinking too much, because I can think too much, I'll be a cat. Because a cat has 9 lives.
I was waiting for the curiosity part.
No, but with a cat, even the sensory nerves of a cat are extremely sharp. It can walk around without looking at where it's stepping, and it will not step in a hole. And the 9 lives is a cat can easily cross a road that has speeding vehicles and it will not be hit. So I'd love to have several lives.
Several lives.
A risk taker talking there. A risk taker. And the next question is, what is the most expensive thing you've bought for yourself?
Oh man, you guys are putting me on the spot. The most expensive thing I've bought for myself will be land. Land is the most expensive thing I've bought for myself.
That answer is an equalizer.
Utatupea finger ama utatupea finger?
Unataka kujua liko situated.
Story for another day.
Okay. So 2 things you can't leave the house without.
2 things I can't live without, the house without. I think my work colleagues know I always walk around with a watch.
Okay.
I would literally step 3 steps and I'd feel I'm naked if I don't have a watch with me. Okay. So I can't leave the house without a watch. I wanted to mention my wallet, but I've forgotten it severally, and things have gone smoothly because my phone. My watch and my phone. Because the day I didn't have my wallet, I asked myself, do I have money on M-Pesa? Then that's fine. Then I can move around. So my watch and my phone.
Watch and your phone.
And the last question is, if given a chance to be a lady for a day, what are 2 things that you really want to do?
I'll have trick questions.
Raisi.
Please come again.
If given a chance to be a lady for a day, what are these 2 things that you really want to do? Ni nini unasemanga ile siku nitakuwa dem, hizi lazima nifanye?
Does changing myself to be a man suffice as one of the things?
No.
Given my if I was given an opportunity to be a lady, the 2 things that I would do I think I would be appreciative of my gender and know the space that I'm supposed to occupy. That's one of the things. I'm trying to be very political with my words.
Anything you say, maybe I can be used against.
It is actually funny that they're not finding it funny.
And the next thing that I would do, actually the first thing that I would do, I would just ask a gentleman to take me on a very expensive date and feel how it feels.
Test me, please.
Unataka kukula fair
and test how it feels. So those 2 things.
Okay.
But you've really jogged my memory.
Okay. Ungai umesikia
watu lazima
ungai nikikuuliza what do you want to do when you become a girl, utaniambia nini?
Hakuna.
Utaniambia I know what you'll say. Nitapea mamurio wangu. That is one thing Wangai will say. That is one thing you're gonna say.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. All right. So give us your parting shot tukikafunga jamani.
So tukiwafunga, thanks Wangai, thanks Kate for having me on this show. I think it's really refreshing what you guys are doing. Keep doing it. The impact is being felt out there. So my parting shot would be the best time to invest in real estate and in any other place is really now. best time before now was yesterday. Unfortunately, we can't go yesterday. So the best time to invest in real estate is now. It does not matter how much you have. You just need to look where you can invest with the little that you have, because that enables you to really double, triple, and grow your wealth tomorrow. They're not making land anymore. There's a quote that says that. So it's becoming scarce by the day, and as population grows, then these such opportunities will be extremely scarce. But look for a credible partner, tried and tested, someone who knows what they are doing. They're very knowledgeable and experienced in what they are doing. So for the young people, there's great opportunities. For the older generation, there's also still great opportunities for them to tap in and invest into. So that's all I can say.
In case people want to
reach you,
do you have social media platforms for your company, your personal? Which one do you want to share?
M-Pesa number.
M-Pesa number itapita kwa screen. tap. Anyway, yes. I think I said my immediate former employer was Fusion Estates, tried and tested, credible partner in this business. You can follow them on all socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, even on LinkedIn at Fusion Estates, KE. You can follow my personal handles, not so very active, but then I will try and be more active on those handles. So it's Aura KE. You will find me on IG. You'll also find me on Twitter. It's Aura KE. On Facebook, I go by the name Kevin A. Sanya, Sanya Cave. At Sanya Cave on Facebook. And I'll be sharing more and more content on investments generally and real estate on those spaces.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we are very grateful that you could find time to come and join us in our studios.
Sure.
And for having such a great conversation about real estate.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm coming.
Yeah, mbona natafuta ID sioni. In case somebody missed them, I will tell them again. In case somebody missed them.
Mapema ndo best.
But before we wrap up, I'm sure you've seen whatever is really happening in the country currently. So what do you like? You've seen people going to the protest, so what is your take on everything that is happening currently in the country?
This studio is full of trick questions.
It's the last one, we promise.
Okay. So I think what I would say, let everyone take part in what's going on in leadership. Let's not wait for elections for us to queue and do voting. Let's take part in what's happening in leadership. There are bills that are passed every passing day, so make sure when there is citizenry participation required, you submit your views, you submit your feedback in good time. Let us try and question our leaders. Whatever they promise, let us ensure we hold them accountable, that they deliver on their promises. And finally, I know there's a lot that is happening in the country. There's a lot that is might be happening in the next couple of days. Just be your brother's keeper. If you're going out there, be your brother's keeper. If you're deciding to be on the Twitter spaces and the online community, be your brother's keeper. Just ensure that you are safe. And if you're safe, your brother and your sister is safe. So that we need a country so that we can be able to run. We
need a country so that we can be able to run. All right. So that's where we wrap it up. We will be coming back with much more. 7 minutes to the top of the hour. Keep kuinteract na sisi kwenye mitandao yetu yote ya kijamii
at Blue Radio Kenya everywhere on Instagram, YouTube, and in case you missed this conversation, ensure utaipata pale our YouTube page @mkami_ on Instagram.
All right, Wangaya_P, keep it blue.
Hi everyone, this is Gracie Rungu from Tech Heads Africa, and you're listening to Blue Radio.
Playing you the best of East Africa urban music.